This is One Fat Boy, and here are my general predictions for March Madness of who's going to win it all, who's going to win their regions, and which teams are likely to have some upset wins during the tournament. So for teams to win it all, so I'm leaning towards these 6 teams, but the 2 that I'm leaning towards the most are Gonzaga and Arizona, and out of those 2, I'm really leaning towards Arizona. Obviously, all these teams are complete teams. They all play well on offense. They run good offensive schemes. They play solid defense, and they all play as a team. And they're not just like passing the ball around the outside, as I see a lot in college, where they just take a contested three at the end of the shot clock. Like they're actually running plays, getting good quality shots all during the game. So these are teams that are likely to go deep and likely to win, but I'm leaning towards Arizona out of these 6. For the teams to win the West region, I'm leaning towards Gonzaga, Texas Tech, and Michigan State. Michigan State is obviously a dark horse, but I think they are a Timizzo team. They match up against Duke. They just are obviously well coached, but the 2 teams I really see winning this region are Gonzaga and Texas Tech, and obviously I'm going to be leaning towards Gonzaga as they are in the Final Four more often than not. They are looking very strong this year, so I don't see any reason why they shouldn't get to the Final Four. For teams to upset their first round matchups for later on, I'm leaning towards Vermont against Arkansas, New Mexico State against UConn, and then Rutgers. I expect Rutgers to win their first 4 game and then turn around and win against Alabama too. But even if Notre Dame does win, I do see Alabama losing still. And then Memphis, I see them winning as the 9 seed, but also giving Gonzaga some trouble too when it's a 1-9 seed matchup. Then Michigan State against Duke, and maybe just like sliding their way up, maybe getting to that Elite 8 game, but mostly just upsetting Duke. For the teams to win the East region, I'm leaning towards Baylor, UCLA, and Kentucky. So out of these 3, I'm actually leaning towards UCLA the most, as of course like Baylor's number 1 seed. They play a zone defense. They're kind of built for the tournament. Zone defenses do tend to work out more often than not. I think UCLA is the most complete team out of the 3. And Kentucky, for some reason I don't have as much faith in them as previous years. So that's why I'm leaning towards UCLA winning the East region overall. For teams to upset, lean towards Marquette, like beating UNC, then also giving Baylor some problems too. But even if you do see North Carolina winning, I can see them giving Baylor some problems too. So that 1 to 8-9 seed, that should be an interesting game for the East region. For Virginia Tech, I actually see them getting fairly deep if they get on a roll, because they just first got to get past Texas, but I can see them winning some more games, possibly getting all the way to the Elite 8. And then for Murray State, I can see them doing some damage to Kentucky, which either or, like they just got to get through San Francisco first, as both those teams have been playing really well, Murray State and San Francisco. But I see Murray State as being better overall, and just actually giving Kentucky a run for the money, possibly upsetting them, and maybe also getting to the Elite 8 too. For the teams to win the Midwest region, I'm leaning towards Kansas, Auburn, and Iowa, and out of those 3, I'm leaning towards Auburn the most, as I think Kansas has the toughest path to the Final Four, as they'll have to go through the 8 seed, which I see San Diego State giving them a tough time, and then also have to go through Iowa, which I think will give them a tough time too, as I really see Iowa as the dark horse in this region, but I think overall Auburn should be able to get to the Final Four. Then for teams to get some upset wins, I see Iowa State being LSU and Colgate being Wisconsin. So if those 2 happen, Iowa State should be able to get to the Sweet 16. And then South Dakota State against Providence, as South Dakota State, when they get to the round of 64, they usually get 1 win. And Providence, they don't match up pretty well against South Dakota State, so I actually do see South Dakota State sneaking in 1 win. For the teams to win the South region, I'm leaning towards Arizona, Villanova, and Tennessee, as I see whoever gets out of the South region has a very strong chance of winning the whole thing. Then out of these 3 teams, I lean towards Arizona the most. And for the teams to get an upset win, I see Michigan winning over Colorado State, even though on the sports books, Michigan is the favor, so this is very likely to upset, quote unquote. And then I see Loyola Chicago winning against Ohio State, as Ohio State has just kind of been up and down all year, and Loyola Chicago always shows up during the tournament. Then Houston, not so much their first round, but if they play against Illinois, I see Houston winning against them and also giving Arizona a run for their money. So there's a good chance for Houston upset like a little later in the bracket. Thank you for watching. As always, go through all the resources online, as I'm just one source, just giving my thoughts on the games, explore every resource, and try and make the best bracket possible.